I didn't know it coming in, but there's a reflective element to this show. Who we've been and who we are. The breadcrumbs that lead us to now. Just me talking to another person, looking for an authentic moment. We're back in New York City to meet Zachary Quinto, looking for some of those moments. My show is like a biography in 7 minutes. I ask the questions that connect with my guests on a human level and create their portrait at the same time. I'm Patrick Hoelck, and this is an interview with Zachary Quinto. Thank you.
Thanks.
With an interview, we talk about curiosity a lot. Like, what makes you curious to try other mediums? You're known mostly as an actor, but you do other things.
I think curiosity keeps you young, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Some of the most fulfilled people I know are the most curious. And I also feel like as I get older, like when I was younger, being an actor was the only thing that mattered to me. And striving for success. And now I feel like my goals, my priorities have shifted a little bit, you know? It's like...
You're hearing a different vibration.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah.
If you can kind of go down and talk to her-ish, like a little lower. You continue to move kind of from theater, film. What's the preferred medium? Is there one?
If I could forge a career that was only theater, I would. You know?
It's tough, right? It's very...
Theater artists are grossly undercompensated for their work.
Yeah, I think so. It's funny, it's the best things are always that way. The things you really desire don't have monetary value.
You have to sacrifice for something, right?
Yeah. Can you not be so much taller than me?
I'll try.
You started acting as a little kid. Was it supported where you came from? Was it something that people empowered?
Yeah, I grew up in a really pretty suburban, comfortable, safe environment in Pittsburgh. I feel grateful for that.
What is home for you? Is it where you came from, where you are today?
Home for me is a place where I feel safe and comfortable. Home is really important to me. I like to travel and I like to be in different places, but I have to have somewhere that I feel like I can let it all hang out, you know?
Yeah. A base camp of some sort.
A base camp and things that inspire me. Whew. Hey.
I like the suit.
Thanks.
Yeah. This is the sketchiest part of our day.
Great.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
It's a marathon, not a sprint. But I had never heard it before. I was like probably 22.
Yeah.
I was super hard on myself in my early 20s. My ambition got really mixed up with my self-worth. And I was doing a play, and this actor who was older than I was wrote it in my opening night card, you know? And it's so cliche. It's like, you know, you hear that all the time, but it's so important. It's helped me a lot.
Don't step on the brown.
Who do you go to for advice?
I have a couple core people in my life. You know, all of my closest friends are friends that I've had for over a decade. And they're the people that hold me accountable.
For your behavior.
Yeah. And hold me accountable to who I always have been, not necessarily just who I am now or who I've become.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I rely on that. And then I have like people who I consider teachers in my life in one way or another. You know, there's people that I go to for career advice. There's people I go to for personal advice, for spiritual advice.
So true.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, you need to seek those teachers out.
Yes. Especially in entertainment, the balance of the spiritual versus the intrusion of it.
Yeah.
I went through it as a director in music video and all these commercials and stuff, and I found that I had it in my house at night, in my house in the day, and then friends were people I was shooting and the subjects and all this stuff, and then it was like a mess, and then
The lines got blurry.
Yeah. I felt guilty too for being a young music video director here because I was like 17, 16 years old.
Right.
So I felt like I would look at crew and be like, I don't deserve it, you don't deserve it, self-hatred.
Right.
I'll do drugs, you know. I hated myself for doing okay. I felt weird about it.
Totally. I understand.
Who was the most important person in your childhood?
My father.
Yeah.
And part of that is because he died.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he became this kind of mythical figure in my life.
Mm-hmm. I lost mine as well.
You did?
Yeah.
At a young age?
No, interesting is I was adopted, and then I met my dad later in life as a reason. I think he knew he was dying, and then I got to meet him. And then I lost my mother that I grew up with my whole life soon after.
Wow.
But I was older. I wasn't a baby. You know?
Right. Yeah, I was 7, so it was a really traumatic experience, and I feel like it shaped me for the better.
Mm-hmm.
But that seems like such a weird thing to say.
Sure.
I don't know. It created an inner life that I don't know would have existed if he hadn't passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not for probably 20 years that I realized that, right? Like it wasn't until I was in my late 20s, mid to late 20s, that I started to like unpack all of the stuff that, for better and for worse, was then a part of who I was because of that thing that happened in my childhood. You know, heavy shit, but also really liberating.
What do you think of the whole new social media, this new world, like the new generation? Does it trip you out?
Oh man, I feel really, it's hard to talk about because then I just sound like old and curmudgeonly, but I feel grateful. Okay, let's put it in this context. I feel grateful that I grew up without it.
Yeah, right.
And that I'm of that generation that was like right on the cusp. Like I didn't get a cell phone until I graduated from college.
Uh-huh.
And like, I'm really glad about that.
I know. You know, it's cool too, is this new generation of kids. Let's take one picture against this white wall. They're like, I'm analog, I don't mess with digital. And I kind of like it. They're like, yo, I'm listening to vinyl and they're only shooting film.
Is that true? There's like a movement of kids that are doing that?
Yes.
God bless them.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're shooting digital? That's goofy, you know? It's so funny. I'm gonna just have you right here and do a white portrait.
I like those kids. I support those kids.
Yeah, me too. One way or another, elements of our past reflect our current experience. Something Zachary said about his past stuck with me. We never know what parts of our lives will have the biggest impact on who we become. You never know the liberation that can come from tragedy, the peace from pain. And there's so much hope in that. It's liberation. It's freedom.